Two people who are close, connected, their relationship can break not because the love ends, but because of a quiet problem that is doubt. Real love builds strong bonds and lasts through tough times. But when doubt begins, even the strongest relationship struggles. Today, I'll share a story. It starts with two loving birds and ends with an important truth. This truth might change how you view love and trust. Stay with me until the end. You'll discover a lesson we often miss. We don't always lose the people we love because their feelings change. We lose them because we demand proof of love that was already there. Once doubt destroys the trust that love built, it's very hard to fix. High up in an old oak tree, deep in a quiet forest, lived two songbirds. They seemed perfectly devoted to each other. The oak tree had survived many storms and cold winters. At the top, they built a safe nest, a home for their shared life. The male bird was constant and dependable. When morning came, he would fly off to find the best berries, picking only the ones she loved most. When he came back, he offered more than food. It was a quiet promise from his heart. His wings ached from flying, but his eyes shined when he saw her happy. He sang every morning, not to attract other birds, but to show her, every day, that his love was strong. He did these things because he truly believed nothing was more important than her. She looked at him with warmth and felt safe because he was so reliable. She was thankful for the comfort he gave her. But as time passed, a small change began inside her. A tiny, hidden worry started to grow, the worry of uncertainty. He is so devoted, she thought. But what if that changes? What if he loves someone else? What if I'm not enough for him anymore? She had no proof, just a fear that crept in like a silent vine. He was still the same, kind, caring, and always there. But she slowly started to view everything he did with suspicion. If he returned a little late, she panicked. Why did he take so long? Where was he? A softer song meant to be gentle seemed to her like he was losing interest. A moment of distraction whispered that his passion was gone. In truth, he worked hard to care for her every day. But his actions felt less important because of her growing fears. These shadows didn't come from him. They came from inside her own mind. The doubt grows. The relationship started to cloud over. The nest was strong, the tree was solid, but inside their home, it grew quiet where happy talking used to be. She didn't want to hurt him. She wasn't mean. She felt a very common fear. The fear of not being good enough. The terror of losing the one person who mattered most. Doubt doesn't shout, it whispers. A repeating thought. A feeling without facts. That is enough to shake a strong love. Doubt is just a small spark at first. If you ignore it, it can turn into a fire that burns everything. Inside her heart, that spark grew bigger. Small worries became constant questions. When he brought berries, her smile hid an inner whisper. Is this true love, or just a habit? His songs made her wonder. Are they for me, or just for the wind? He hadn't changed. His actions were the same. But she no longer trusted him openly. A hidden barrier twisted everything she saw. Then came the arguments. Small at first, like ripples in water. I feel you drifting away, she said, looking down. He replied, feeling confused and hurt. How can you think that? I fly far every day just to rush back to you. What more can I do to prove my love? His promises didn't help. They just created more confusion and mistrust. She wasn't hateful, she was just afraid. It was that basic human need to force proof from a love that was already giving it freely. The final test. The nights became colder, not from winter, but from the growing distance between them. He kept singing, kept finding food, kept fixing the nest. But a deep tiredness showed in his eyes. Not physical tiredness, but a sadness of the spirit. The pain of loving someone who doesn't believe you. One evening, as it got dark, the tension peaked. She looked at him steadily. I need certainty. Tomorrow morning, meet me at the bottom of the oak tree. Whoever arrives first proves they have the deeper love. He was silent. His heart felt heavy, not because he doubted himself, but because love alone wasn't enough anymore. It needed a competition now, a test. With a gentle nod, he agreed. If this helps you stop worrying, I will be there. Inside, he felt a sharp pain. Why do I have to prove every day what I have already lived? But he didn't say anything, trying to keep the peace. She flew back to the nest, sure she would win the race in the morning. He stayed on the branch, watching the darkness fall. The winds picked up, the cold deepened, and he made up his mind. This wasn't about winning. It was about ending her doubts forever. To do that, he would give more than he ever imagined. A cold vigil. Night covered the woods like a heavy blanket. The oak tree groaned in the cold. Dry leaves moved like quiet regrets of the coming winter. She flew home, determined to sleep early so she could wake up before him. He will find me waiting, and he will know my love is strongest, she told herself, trying to calm her worry. He stayed on his branch. He stared at the sky, thinking, if I sleep and arrive late, will she think I don't care? His only fear wasn't losing the test, it was losing her trust. So he promised himself he wouldn't sleep. He would stay awake through the dark, cold night. When she arrived, she would see him already there, and all questions would disappear. The wind howled louder. The temperature dropped fast. His soft feathers tried to block the attack. The cold seeped into his body. He shivered, feeling his eyelids grow heavy. Comfort was not possible. He only wanted to watch until sunrise. The woods slept. Only he remained awake. The insects were silent. The far-off stream was quiet. In that empty space, he whispered, she will see me at dawn and know the truth. Not for a show, but so she will never doubt again. The hours dragged on. His wings grew stiff in the wind. His claws ached holding onto the branch. The moon moved across the sky, icy and watching his vigil. Memories kept him going. Their first song together, sharing the first berry, her head resting on his chest at sunset. A shooting star flew by. He wished softly, let her find me here, and let doubt die forever. But winter was cruel. Frost covered his feathers. His breathing became difficult. His eyes fought to stay open. His tiny body clung to the branch with fading strength. In the nest, she couldn't sleep either. She tossed and turned, staring at the stars. I must beat him there. Ironically, doubt kept her awake. Two hearts, connected by love but separated by suspicion, faced the same dark night in different ways. He was fighting the cold. She was fighting to stay awake. The woods waited quietly for the result of an unfair test. Dawn approached, but the night's hold was deep. He still clung to the branch, feathers puffed against the sharp wind. Every breath was a struggle, a price to pay for a test he didn't deserve. The wind cut through him. His once strong wings twitched faintly. His eyelids drooped. Exhaustion begged him to give up. Yet love was stronger than tiredness. She must believe me, his fading inner voice urged. No more shadows. No conditions on my heart. The forest was silent, as if respecting his quiet sacrifice. Memories flooded back. Her first beautiful song, the shared berry joy, the quiet evenings. They kept him anchored in the storm, but his body couldn't take any more. The cold doesn't spare anyone, especially the small ones. His claws went numb on the bark. His pulse slowed down like a clock winding down. He could have fled back to the warmth of the nest, curled beside her, and greeted the day together. Instead, he held on. If I leave now, doubt wins. If I stay, even if it kills me, she will know I never changed. The moon faded into a pale blue sky. The stars vanished like burnt-out flames. He lifted his head one last time, a gentle smile on his face. Soon, she will come, and she will see. The cold encased him. His wings folded tightly over his chest, chasing warmth that was long gone. His frost-covered eyes closed. His final vision was of her, happy and bright, coming to him. He never saw dawn break. He held onto that branch, frozen in place, a silent monument to a love that was complete, but tested by a doubt he couldn't conquer. The morning after, as the first sunlight touched the top of the oak tree, she flew down, full of pride and determination. She knew she had won. She reached the bottom of the tree and looked around for him, preparing to tell him she was first. But he wasn't at the bottom. Her pride quickly turned to confusion and then panic. "He's late. He failed the test," she cried out. The tiny seed of doubt she had carried for so long burst into full bloom. She felt betrayed. All her fears were true. He didn't love her enough to show up on time. She looked up at the nest in anger and pain, tears welling in her eyes. The trust she had destroyed herself now felt broken by him. She spread her wings, ready to leave the tree, the forest, and the memory of a love that she now believed was fake. As she took flight, a final ray of sunlight caught something on the high branch where he had spent the night. She stopped and looked closely. There he was. He hadn't just been there first. He had never left the branch. He was frozen solid, a statue of feathers and ice. He had died in the bitter cold, holding his vigil, keeping his promise, so that she would find him and never doubt his love again. She flew to him, her heart breaking into 1,000 pieces. She saw the peaceful smile on his frozen face. In that moment, all doubt vanished. She understood everything. He hadn't failed her. She had failed him. He had given his life as the ultimate proof of his love, a validation she demanded, but he was never meant to provide. Doubt didn't just unravel what love had woven. In the end, it killed the source of the love itself. The lesson: we don't always lose those we love because their feelings fade. We often lose them because we demand constant proof from a love that is already complete. Once doubt unravels what love so carefully built, there is no path back. Cherish the silent vows, the daily actions, and the quiet reliability of true affection. Trust the bond you have, before doubt leaves you with only regrets and the frozen silence of what used to be.